Okay. Very good evening, all of you. Hope you all are doing well. Let's start with today's session. Quick recap of last session, what we have discussed. I guess literals, we started with literals, then integer literals we saw. In integer literal, how we can represent integer literal in decimal, octal, hexadecimal, binary, that we saw, right? And then floating point literal. In floating point literal, we can represent fixed notation and scientific notation. Then I guess we started with Boolean literal also. We discussed about Boolean literal, right? Now, next type of literal is present, that is character literal. Okay, so character literal means any single character enclosed in a pair of single quote. Getting? When you enclose it in a pair of single quote, then it becomes a character literal. Okay, and internally it is representing char data type. Okay, and in Java, these char literals are 2-byte Unicode. Remember. Now, what is Unicode? We will be discussing. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. So as I said, character literals means any single character. It can be letters, it can be digit. Okay, single quote zero, or I'm writing single quote at the rate, single quote plus, okay, anything, any single character enclosed in a pair of single quote. You're not able to hear me? I hope you're able. Others?
You're audible, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
So I guess there's problem with his side connection. Okay. So character literals, quite simple. Any single, it can be letter, digit, special symbols, white spaces, anything enclosed in single quote. And in Java, they represent internally, character literals represent char data type. Like integer literals are byte short, int long. By default, it is integer. If you add suffix L, then it is long. In case of float and double, floating point, it is float and double. Like for Boolean literal, it is Boolean. So same way, character literals internally char. But only the speciality of Java is or character literals are internally 2-byte Unicodes. Now, Unicodes means it represents the character codes of all the universe. Getting? Means initially from 0 to 127 will be the normal ASCII codes in which A to Z, upper, lower, then digits, special symbols, white spaces will come. Then from 128 to 255, some Latin letters will come. Getting alpha, beta, gamma, and all such. And then from 256 onwards till 65535 means it is approximately 64K. Okay, there are characters of the globe, means in which Joheb characters will come, Hebrew characters will come, Arabic characters, your Devanagari characters, Japanese characters, Chinese characters. Correct? All the characters of the globe are included, and that is the reason it's called Unicode. And why all the characters of globe? Because Java is the language of internet. Mainly when they found out that in 1993 WW is becoming famous, but it was not interactive and dynamic. So they thought of introducing Java for making it dynamic, applets and all. So when you're going to use Java to interact in the whole globe, so obviously it should be able to consider the characters of the whole globe. And that's the reason they introduced Unicode concept. And then later, many languages have introduced that thing. Okay. So any single character enclosed in a pair of single quote denotes primitive data type char. Okay. And character literals in Java are represented using 16-bit Unicode, mean 2 bytes. Normally, if you take standard C, ANSI C or C++ and all, they're only 1 byte. But now the modern C++ also have also introduced this concept. Okay, so 16-bit means 2 byte Unicode concept. Okay, and some characters, like if you are not able to directly type in your system, like some alpha character is there or some beta or something, which I cannot directly type from my keyboard, then you can use their Unicodes. Getting? And then how to write Unicodes? You have to write backslash u, means precede with backslash u, and then 4-digit hexadecimal. Getting? Means one hexadecimal, second hexadecimal, third, and fourth. Now, why 4-digit only? Because one hexadecimal last value is F. Yes or no? I hope you know hexadecimal values range from 0 to 9 and A to F. So last hexadecimal is F, and F's binaries, F means 15, and 15 binaries 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1 is whose binary? 15. So last value will be what? F, 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 F. All four F. So one F is 4 ones, right? On in binary form. So second will be again 4. This way, this is also 4, and this also 4. So this becomes how many? 16-bit only, right? On 4 into 4, 16-bit. Okay. So you can write their Unicodes and represent them. So any Unicode character can be represented as a 4-digit hexadecimal number preceded with backslash u. You have to start with backslash u to indicate that this is a Unicode, and after that 4-digit hexadecimal. Okay? Some common Unicodes I have given. Few Unicodes, like if you want to represent space. So space is also a character, remember. Means in your character system, space is also given a equivalent code. So space code is 32, and 32 in hexadecimal is 20. It is hexadecimal. Na? Yes or no, guys? 0, 0, 2, 0. So 16 raised to 0, 16 raised to 1. 16 raised to 1 is 16. 16 into 2 is 32. Okay. Then single code 0. Single code 0 is 48. And 48 in hexadecimal is 30. You can see. 16 raised to 0, 16 raised to 1. So 16 raised to 1 is 16. 16 into 3 is 48. Okay. Same way capital A. Capital A is 65, guys. Right? And 65's hexadecimal is 41. You can check. This is 1 only. And this is 16 into 4, 64. So 64 plus 1 is 65. So this way somewhere you have Latin A, yeah, beta, getting? So different Latin letters also I have introduced. Same way you can search for your Devanagari letters, getting I. For that also they have provided Unicodes. For Japanese they have given, Arabic letters they have given. So all the characters in the globe are included, and 64,000 is sufficient. Is what they say. As many characters set are there in the entire globe, they all can fit into 64,000. Getting? Therefore, 2 bytes is sufficient. 2 byte means 16 bit. Okay. I hope this part is clear to you. Means character literals are clear. Now there is one more literal called string literal. We will be discussing that too. But before that, what do you mean by escape sequences? That we'll see. Okay. So escape sequence means any sequence of characters preceded with backslash. Understanding? Means any sequence of character. It can be one character, sometimes one or more. Okay. So it can be one character or more than one character, but they are preceded with backslash. So any such sequence of characters which are preceded with backslash will be called as escape sequence. Means like backslash U0041. This is also one form of it. Correct? Or I'm writing backslash N. Okay. Or I'm writing backslash single quote or backslash double quote. So any character, one or more, but preceding with backslash. They will be called as escape sequences. Now, what is the purpose of escape sequence? Means for what these escape sequences are needed. The applications are uh, available. What those applications are? First, I'll tell you that is to represent non-graphic characters. Getting non-graphical characters. Means such characters which can be seen on the screen. They are called graphical character, like A, B, C, 0, 1, 2, plus, minus, brackets, all are visible. Therefore, they are graphical characters. But there are some characters which are non-graphical characters, like new line, like you have typed hello and you want to tell that after this word is going to come, please put it on the next line. Okay, so you'll put a backslash n. So you don't see this backslash n on the screen. Means there is no character for that on the screen. Getting or no? Hello is visible, world is visible. But slash n has given an effect that it has taken the control, that is your character, caret. It's not called as character, caret on the next line. And then the remaining is seen on the next line. So do you see slash n on the screen? No. It is a non-graphic here, but it has given an effect. What effect? It has taken the control or the caret on the next line, and then remaining is displayed on the next line. So this is one example. Okay, there are like tabs slash t. It will put some fixed number of spaces. Like if you put slash t between hello and world, so you'll see hello, then some fixed number of spaces, and then world. So they are not representing any character on the screen, but you got some white spaces between hello and world. Correct? So I'll give you a list of it, what non-graphic characters are there. Okay. Like slash B is there, which will just take the cursor one position back. It will take your caret one position back. It will not delete or do anything. It will just take it back. Okay. So they all are non-graphic characters. Then second use of escape sequence. So first use, I hope you got it, to represent non-graphic characters. And second is to represent meta characters. Now you'll say, what are meta characters? Meta characters are characters of syntax. They are characters of syntax. Okay. So meta characters are characters which are used as a syntax character. Like I'll tell you, how do you represent a string? Like you want to tell that this is a string. Okay, hello is a string. So we tell that it is a string by putting double quote on both sides. Means your Java compiler won't recognize this as a string unless and until you delimit it by double quote. Means unless and until you put double quote in the beginning and double quote at the end, your Java compiler won't treat it as a string. So actually, string is only hello. But how do you inform that it is a string? By marking it with double quotes on both the side. Isn't it clear? So this double quote will be called as a meta character. It is a character of syntax. Same with character literal. You want to tell that this is a character literal. Okay. So how do you tell that it's a character literal? By putting single quote on both sides, isn't it? If I put single quote on both sides, then now compiler treats that this is a character literal. But here, this quotes which you have put on both the side, they are meta characters. They are characters of syntax. Getting? So to represent meta characters as literal characters means I don't want that characters to be treated as a meta character, but it should be treated as it is. Means treat double quote as double quote only and treat single quote as single quote only. Don't consider it as a start of a string and the end of a string. Don't consider it as a start of a character literal and end of a character literal. Understanding? Then in that case also you have to use escape sequence. Getting? That is backslash. Like for example, suppose you want to display hello, okay, in double quote only. Means you don't want to display only hello. You want to display hello in double quote. Means on the monitor, I want to display hello along with this double quote. So I cannot put just double quote, hello, double quote. Is wrong. Why? Because the first double quote indicates start of a string. Second indicates complete. The string is over. And here also same thing. So hello is nowhere part of a string. Therefore, what you have to do, the second double quote you have to escape. And the third you have to escape by putting backslash. You're escaping meaning what? You're not ignoring it. Means escaping means you're not uh, deleting it or trimming it. You're telling to the compiler, please ignore its meaning. Means what is its original meaning? Start of a string. So please don't consider it now as a start of a string. Treat it as it is. Treat double quote as a double quote only. And here also treat double quote as double quote. So what will happen once you precede it with backslash? The meaning of double quote will be ignored. What is its meaning? Start and end of a string. So now it won't treat it as a start or end of a string. It will treat literally double quote as double quote. यानी जैसे है वैसे ही मीन्स वो डबल कोट है तो उसको डबल कोट ही रखो. Don't consider it as a beginning or end of a string because it's a meta character, no? Right or no? Clear? Same way, suppose in my character variable, I'm having a character variable, and in that I want to store single quote only because single quote is also a character, no? It will also have a Unicode. So can I store single quote, single quote, single quote? It won't do. Getting? Because first single quote, start of a character literal, second single quote, end of a character literal. The third one remains incomplete. So what you have to do, you have to put a backslash before this middle one. So when you put a backslash between this middle one, compiler will ignore its meaning. What is its meaning? Start of a character literal. So now it will not treat it as a start of a character literal. It will treat it as it is. Single quote as single quote. Getting? So I hope you got it. And now you know already backslash is used to represent the escape sequence. But I want literal backslash only. Like suppose you have created a path like this. C colon, okay, backslash new folder. Okay. So what will happen? Instead of considering it as it will treat C colon and slash n it will treat as a non-graphic character, that is new line, and EW underscore folder will come on the next line. Isn't it? It will become something funny. C colon 1. Okay. And as that slash n will represent as a new line, it will put EW underscore folder on the next line. But I don't want this slash n to be treated as a new line. I want slash as slash only. Backslash is backslash. To put two backslash. So first backslash will ignore the second backslash. Ignore meaning it will not consider it as a meta character. It will treat it as it is, whatever it is. It is backslash, so it will treat it as backslash only. Getting? So I hope the second purpose is also clear. The first purpose is to represent non-graphic characters like new line, tabs, carriage return, form feed. Getting? And second, to treat meta characters as literal characters. And there is third use also to represent unicodes and octal codes of any character. Like you have A, but you want to represent its Unicode. Then also we need escape sequence backslash U 0041. So this is actually representing whom? A only. Okay? Or you can write in octal form also, just backslash and three-digit octal, like 101. Okay. Whenever you just put backslash and three-digit octal, it will be treated as octal. Now 101 is same as 65 only, no? 8 raised to 0, 8 raised to 1, 8 raised to 2. So what is 8 raised to 2? 64 plus 1, 65. Getting? So you can use escape sequence for representing unicodes, octal codes also. Okay. So what are the three purposes? Are clear to you guys? All the three purpose are clear to you or no? Just give
Yes, sir.
confirmation. Okay. So that we can go through it. So escape sequence, any sequence of characters preceded by backslash. Uses first to represent some non-graphical characters. Second, to treat meta characters as literal characters. Okay. And third, to represent unicodes and octal codes. Okay. See here. Sequence of characters preceded by backslash. Then used to represent some non-graphic characters like new line, carriage return, tabs. Okay. Or to treat some meta characters as literal characters. Okay, I hope it is clear. And the third use is, I told you, to represent unicodes also. Now in this table, you can see some are for the first application till here. See, these are all in this first category, non-graphic characters. Non-graphic characters meaning your understanding. Okay, that is, you won't be able to see any character on the screen, but some effect is there. Like slash B, it just takes the cursor back. Getting? Slash T, it will just put some fixed number of spaces. Slash N brings the cursor on the next line. Form feed is basically for printers and all, because printer is also output device. Getting? It is used for ejecting the paper. Then slash R is like new line, but it doesn't bring the cursor on the next line. It brings to the beginning of the same line. Beginning of the same line. Understanding? Clear? And these three are meta characters. No? Single quote is a meta character, double quote is a meta character, backslash is the meta character. So if you want to treat single quote as single quote, then use backslash. And remember, they also have, though they are non-graphic character, they have their unicodes. Like backspace is having unicode 8. See here, tabs are having 9. New line is having 10. 10 means A. Okay, so everyone is having their corresponding unicodes. Okay, I'll give you some demonstration of it. And unicodes can be represented in octal form also. How to represent in octal form? Just now I told. Only backslash and three-digit octal code. Three-digit octal code preceded with backslash. Okay, okay. See here. Like single quote A. Now single quote A means it is 97. But 97 can be represented in octal form as 141. This is the octal. You understanding? 8 raised to 0, 8 raised to 1, 8 raised to 2. So remember guys, 8 raised to 2 is 64. 64 plus 32. Okay. And plus 1. Right? So this is 97. I hope. Right or no? Isn't it 97? It's 97. Okay. And small a is 97. Like 0. 0 is 48. Zero's code is 48. And 48 in octal is 60. You can check. No? 60 it is. So this is 0 only. And this is 8 raised to 1. 8 raised to 1 into 6 is 48. Because it is octal 60. It is not decimal 60. It is octal 60, guys. Okay. So hope this part is clear to you. If you want, I'll show you quick demonstration of this. Okay. In this J shell environment, for time being, I'll show you. Okay. Suppose you have a character variable and in that you want to store single quote. So this won't do. Getting guys? If I try to do it like this, it is a error. See. Why? Because first and second are completing one character literal. The third remains incomplete. So it is giving empty character literal. You understanding? So what you have to do is actually I wanted to store what? Single quote. Because single quote is also a character, na guys? So I want to store what in that C. Inside C, I can store A, B, C, D, 0, 9, space. All the Unicodes of globe I can store na, in it. So can I store a single quote also? So you have to write backslash. Now what is stored actually in it? Backslash. You can print and see. Yeah? See. It is telling what is there in that C backslash. You can print it this way by using system.out.println C. Okay, we will be learning about it. Don't worry. I'll tell you about this system.out.println. See, when I'm trying to print that C, is it displaying single quote? Means in short, in your variable, what is stored? You can check. What is stored in that C variable? Single quote. Getting? Same way if you have created a string, okay, string S, and you want to store hello in it, hello world. But I want to store hello world along with double quote. If you do like this, and then you try to print that S, it will only print hello world. It won't put double quote on both sides. Getting? So if you want double quote, you cannot do like this. Double quote, hello world, double quote, double quote. Again, it will give an error. Getting? Why it is saying semicolon expected? Because the first two have completed one string. Double quote completed one string. So it is saying a semicolon expected. Now if I put backslash before second one and the third one, okay, so actually double quote is stored in the string. And now if you try to print it, can you see, is it printing only hello world or is it printing hello world along with the quote? It is
Along with the
printing
code.
along with the quote. Correct? And same way you can try with some hard-coded strings where I'm putting slash n. Okay, see here. When I put slash n, it is going to give which effect? It will take the cursor on the next line. Getting? So after everything after that will be on the next line. Can you see hello? And then slash n brought the cursor on the next line and world after that. And if you put slash r, so what it will do, it will first display hello. Okay, it is going to display hello and then slash r will bring to the beginning of that hello only. not on the next line. It will bring the cursor to the beginning of same line. So beginning of same line means the cursor will come on H, and on that what will be overwritten? World. So on H, WORLD. So you'll be able to see only world. So it's not like that it is deleted or something. It is overwritten, guys. Okay. First, what is displayed? Hello. That was displayed on the screen. And then slash R brought the cursor to the beginning of the same line. And then what you are displaying? World. So it is going to display WORL and D overwritten on that hello. Therefore, on the screen, we see world. Getting? Same way you can put slash in, same way slash B or slash T. Slash T will put some fixed number of spaces. Okay. If I'm putting slash B, many things like it is going to delete 3 characters. It's not like that, guys. Or I'm putting only 2, suppose. Okay. It is just going to bring the cursor one position back. So one slash B will bring below O, another slash B below L. Understanding? Is anything deleted here? Is hello
No.
as it is displayed? Nothing is deleted. So that's what I want to say. Slash B doesn't delete. It just brings the cursor back. And that effect you'll get if you're continuing with some more output. Okay. So first hello, then slash B brings the cursor below O. Second slash B below L. And then on that you're overwriting world. So you'll see hell world. Can you see? So when we see hell world, many start assuming that slash B deletes. Please remember slash B just brings the cursor back. So it has brought the cursor 2 position back, that is below L. And then on that you're overwriting world. Getting? So I hope you got it. And then you can make use of Unicodes also inside it, like see if I'm writing hello and or I'm writing A is backslash U0041 and backslash U101. Getting? For both it will display A only. So backslash U0041 is 65 and 65 is capital A. And here I don't have to write U, only 10. It's octal, no? Okay, and octal 101 is 65 only. Octal 101 is 65 and backslash U0041 is 65. 65 is capital A. So A is A and A. It will display something like that. Can you see? A is A and A. So it was Unicode of capital A, and this third is also Unicode of capital A only. One I've written in octal. In one case, I've written in hexadecimal. Both are Unicodes. Getting no? Clear?
Yes,
Only
sir.
remember if you want single quote inside double quote, no need. Like I'm saying Ram's house. So if you want single quote in double quote, no need to escape. Or you want double quote inside single quote, no need to escape. Okay. Like example, I told about slash also. Suppose I'm writing a path like this, C colon backslash new folder. So I want exactly like this to get printed, C colon backslash new world. But what funny thing happen, C colon will come on one line and EW folder on the next line because slash n is treated as new line. Can you see? So now in this case, if you want to escape that backslash, put 2 backslash. So first backslash is going to escape that. Means it will keep backslash as it is. Now can you see? You are able to see the exact path. Getting? So I hope you got it. Okay? So you can make use of character literals and all. Okay. Even you can make use of these Latin letters and all I told. If you want, you can print and see backslash u00 E5 is there, right? Somewhere here I wrote and backslash u00 E5. Getting? Can you see? Is it printing that Latin A with a dot above it? Getting? That are called as accents, grave accents and all. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now moving to one last literal type, that is string literal. Okay. Now what are string literals? String literals means any sequence of characters enclosed in a pair of double quote, a strictly double quote. Any sequence of character, it can be letters, digits, special symbols, white spaces, unicodes, octal codes, anything enclosed in a pair of double quote. It will be treated as a string in Java. And you cannot extend it to more than one line. No? Means this is not allowed. Double quote, and then you're writing something, and then you're pressing enter, again typing, you're pressing enter, and then you're completing double quote. Is not allowed. This double quoted strings can be extended only to one line. Getting? It can be maximum one line. Okay. So any sequence of characters enclosed in double quote. And next thing you have to remember in Java, string literals are objects. They are automatically created objects. They are created in a pool. One pool is created where unique objects are kept. Okay? And whenever you need that object, it will refer from the pool. Concept is like in your whole program, you're using double quote RAM many places. So it is not going to create it again and again. It will create this double quote RAM once only in the pool, and the same string it will keep taking it from that pool wherever you need it. Getting? So if you are using double quote RAM 100 times, it is not going to create 100 objects. It will create only one object, keep it in the pool, and the same object is referred everywhere. That is the speciality. So they all are objects of the class string. Means remember, string literals don't come under primitive category. They are not primitive. They are non-primitive. Means they are library created or user defined. Means whenever we create any classes or when some people have created and given us, they come under non-primitive or they are reference category. So there is one class called string. Speciality of Java is whatever library classes they have provided, hundreds of classes they have provided, which are organized in the form of packages. Every class will start with capital letter only. That is the rule they have maintained. They have maintained one rule that is called as coding convention. They are coding standards that the class names start with capital. So string class also start with S capital. And it is present in a lang package, which is a sub package of Java. So Java is the main package and lang is a sub package. And within lang package, it is present. Okay. But lang is the only package which is by default imported. You don't have to add this package. By default, it gets loaded in the memory. But if there is any class which is other than lang package, means it is present in different package like util package or IO package, then they are not by default imported. You have to import that package and then only you are able to use that class. Okay, so I hope you are understanding that. So string literals are automatic objects of class string. Now you'll say, how do you say that? I can justify it by many ways. Normally, how do you recognize it is the object? Whenever it is able to invoke some methods, getting dot, and then we can invoke some method. So we know that it is an object. Whenever you call any function in context of an object with a dot operator, we know that it is a object. Getting? So you can invoke methods. I'll show you. See here. Like if you have a string hello, and then I'm writing dot upper. So it will give you a new string, new string. Original string is not changed. A new string in which hello will be in uppercase. Getting? Sorry, this is according to Python. Very, very sorry. Two uppercase. Two uppercase. Very sorry for that. See. Does it return hello? And can you see the methods are in camel case form? Camel case concept means when there are more than one word, the first word is in lowercase and second word's first letter is upper. That is called camel case. And if they're joined with underscore, then they're called a snake case. Some languages use that, like in C. In C, our functions are joined with underscore. Okay, can you see? Or I'm writing double quote hello and dot length round bracket. It will return number of characters in hello. So as we are able to call these methods in context of that object with a dot operator, that itself proves that it is a object, but it is a pooled object. Okay, it is constant object kept in a pool. Okay, so the basic thing is clear. Now in newer version of Java, like Java 15, they have introduced text blocks, or you can say like doc strings. They are called as document strings or multi-line strings. Okay, they have introduced in Java 15. Previously, if you want multi-line string, then you were not able to do that. So what you were supposed to do, complete that string over there only. And then on the next line, you can write next string and join them with plus sign. Because in Java, plus acts like a concatenation between two strings. One string plus second string. Okay? Again, you can write plus and then the third string. Because in Java, when you use plus between two strings, the strings are concatenated. So this way you could create in the older style, older Java style. But now Java 15 has introduced one text blocks, or they're called as doc strings, okay, or multi-line string. In that case, what is done? You have to use three quotes, okay, right? Like three double quote, and then you start typing. Now, if you press enter, also it won't complain. Go on typing till again what don't come, that three double quotes. And when that three double quote come, now the string is over. Everything is preserved in it. The new lines are preserved, spaces are preserved, tabs are preserved, everything. But this is a feature introduced in new modern version of Java. Okay? See here. So any sequence of characters enclosed in a pair of double quote and which must occur on a single line. This is the criteria for double quoted string. If you want, you can show like that. Suppose you're creating one string S and you are typing something, hello world, and then you want to type something on the next line. So the moment I press enter, it starts giving error. The moment I press enter, it has given unclosed string literal. This itself proves that double quoted strings can be extended only for one line. But if I write like this, three quote and then hello world. Now, does it complain? No. Okay. Let us learn Java full stack development. Okay. What about AI and ML? And then this three quotes I'm completing. The moment I complete that three quote, the string is complete. Just check. Once you have to continue with this. Means it is like you can continue typing s- string illegal text block open the missing line terminate. I'll just check what is it. Okay, I'll just check why it is illegal text block open terminate. Signal missing line terminate. Okay, maybe in J shell it is not working. We'll see it in some other environment. Okay, but first what we'll discuss that is what is a string literal. So any sequence of characters enclosed in a pair of double quote, and you cannot extend to more than one line. I already told you. So if you want to extend it to more than one line, then you can use plus, which I told you already. See this way, and then plus, and then you can write whatever you want. Okay, let us learn Java, also AI and ML. Getting? And now if you print that S, it will display everything what is stored in it. But this is the older style by putting plus everywhere. Okay? And already I told string literals are objects of the class string. All string literals are objects of the class string, right? And within that double quote, you can make use of anything: uppercase letters, lowercase, digits, special symbol, then any Unicodes, whatever you want. Escape sequences as well as Unicodes can appear in string literal. Okay. So examples, see, like in this case, I have mentioned here comes a tab and here comes another one, because this is also Unicode of tab only. Getting? You can write hello world slash t world slash u 009 exclamation. Getting? All three are same. 10 is less than equilibrium. Okay. This, if you pass it to system dot out dot println, does it display hello, then tab, then world, then tab, and then new line? Means slash t is also a tab and backslash u 009 is also a tab, because it is a Unicode of tab. A tab of a Unicode of tab is 0009. So both you can write. Then no need to escape single quote if you are in a double quote. Means you are using single quote in a double quote, no need to escape. But if you are using double quote within double quote, then you have to escape it by backslash. And here, like slash n is acting like a non-graphic character. It will put it on the next line, right? And Java does have multi-line strings. Okay. And how do you introduce this multi? And they are called as text blocks. They are called text blocks and were introduced officially in Java 15. Getting? And onwards. So what you have to do, you have to put three quote. Okay, I think this is the mistake which I'm doing. I'm writing immediately. I think we have to put enter and then write all the lines and then next line. Getting? See, I'll tell you. String s equal to three quote, and then you write whatever you want. Hello world. Let us learn Java, also AI and ML, and then three quote. Now it is clear. Getting? Yes or no? And now if I display it in SOP, see, sometimes we do some silly mistakes. So grammar is very important, right? Or knowing syntaxes are also important. And this is actually a new feature, no? Therefore not much in use, right? So if you want to make multi-line string, you have to first start with three code, then go on the next line, type as many lines you want, and then at the end you have to put three code. That's why it was giving an error. So I hope you got it, right? See ya. Has it preserved as it is? Whatever, like there are three lines, it has preserved three lines. If there are spaces, if there are tabs, everything will be preserved. And before 15, before Java 15, what was done? The same thing. We were supposed to write three different strings and join it with plus, right or no? Developer had to do this circus performance, that is concatenation. First line, then plus, second line, then plus, then the third line. Okay, this way you have to build the strings. Okay, so I hope you are clear. Just give me quick confirmation about string literal. Remember, strings are not primitives, like byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. They are primitives. Strings are objects of class string only. They are objects of class string, and string is in a lang package. And lang is the only package which you don't have to explicitly import. It gets imported by default. When you start with the JShell environment, automatically lang package is added and you are free to use any classes which are there in that lang package. Okay. So can you give me quick confirmation? Others also, others are, I hope others are hearing or only one just response. Chalo, fast, all others, quick confirmation regarding strings, regarding multi-line, that is text block strings. Text block concept, you got it, no? You first have to start with three quote, then type any number of lines and then three quote. But take care that that three quote are on separate line and the ending three quote are on the separate. Don't continue, which I did it because somewhat knowledge of other language and therefore I did it. Like in Python, we can type on the same line also, it doesn't matter. In Python also, they have such multi-line, actually copied from there only. Okay? Okay.
Yes, sir, got it.
Now moving ahead with white spaces. Now what are white spaces? So white spaces are only space that is blank character, or you have new line, new line character, or tabs, okay, or carriage return. They all are considered as white spaces. Okay, so line terminators are there, or we have tabs, we have new line characters, only spaces. They all come under white spaces. So sequence of spaces, only space which you get, no? Blank space, or you put tabs, form feeds, line terminators, they all are considered as white spaces. Now, actually, these white spaces, if you put extra, they are ignored by the compiler. If by mistake in your program you wrote class and then after very long time you wrote your class name, okay, compiler doesn't complain, like open brace, and then lot of lines you left blank, and then you started writing your code, that is void main or whatever. So in between there are a lot of white spaces. So what happens is compiler simply ignores them. Okay, it will only use it for its purpose, and whatever extra are there, they are ignored. Getting? So mainly the purpose of these spaces and tabs and line terminators and all in your code are mainly for tokenization. Means compiler uses these white spaces for creating tokens. So after class, when one space come for compiler, it is recognized that this is one token. Okay. So one space is sufficient. After that, if there are a lot of extra spaces, they are simply ignored. Understanding? So the basic purpose of this white space for compiler is for tokenization. And once the tokens are generated, all the extra white spaces are ignored. Getting? And remember, Java is a free form language. Free form. There's also a common question in the interviews also. Free form language. Now, Java is a free form or free format. So Java doesn't have any pre-decided structure that this thing should start in this column only. You cannot go beyond that column. Then keywords should come in, or the block should be indented from this column. Nothing like that. You can type whole code in one line also. Like I'm writing class ABC, there only open brace, there only main, everything in one line. Or for my purpose, for my clarity, for my readability, I can type like this ABC, open bracket, then I'm pressing enter, then some tab I'm giving indentation, then I start with my method, getting void main, then the body of that main also, okay, I'm pressing enter, then tab, and then I type. So all these indentations are also white spaces only. These are also white spaces. Getting? But all these white spaces we have just put for readability, for making the code elegant, cleaner. It looks better. Getting? Only for that. In reality, compiler is simply going to ignore them. Compiler just needs them for tokenization. Once the token is created, see a class, keyword, ABC, name of the class, that is identifier, open brace bracket, it is the delimiter, void, again a keyword, then main, name of a method, so it is also identifier. Just for creating tokens, it makes use of it. Otherwise, there is no such hard and fast rule that you have to use these white spaces. As I said, no, you can type the whole code on one line or you can type on separate lines with an indentation. Doesn't matter. Getting? See here. Class ABC. There only you are writing void main. Okay. Everything is done. Or you can type like this also. Class ABC, enter, then I put a tab, then void main, then again a tab, then whatever you want, you can write, okay, system.out.println, hello, okay, then I'm completing the bracket, completing bracket. So it is up to you how you want. So the second version is more better. It's more cleaner, more elegant, more readable. Why? Because you have put it on the separate line and then you have put tabs and all. So it is more elegant way. So this is more preferred. But anyway, these white spaces are actually ignored. Their purpose was only for tokenizing. Okay. So what I want to say, Java is a free format sequence of characters. Any Java program is just a sequence, CLAAS, then space, then ABC, open brace. So you are just writing sequence of characters. And appropriate place you are putting white spaces. That is tokenized by the compiler. The compiler will segregate them in keywords, identifiers, punctuations, variables, delimiters, like that. So white spaces help in separating tokens and also in formatting the program so that it is easy for humans to read. Getting? So their purpose is only two. One, for making it more readable, and first, for tokenizing. Getting? So if you have any extra white spaces, anyway, they are going to get ignored. Okay? Okay? Then now we have to move with another important topic. ठीक है. So till here we have completed with literals. So all the literals are clear to you, no? First of all, literals, constant values directly used in the program. Throughout the program, they remain same. They never change. They represent themselves, right? Then we have integer literals, right or no? In which they are by default in type. If you attach L, then they are long. You can represent them in decimal, octal, hexadecimal, binary. Then floating literal, floating point literal. In that we have float and double. If you want, you can suffix D. If you don't suffix, then also it is double. Not, and if you are suffix F, then it becomes float. Fixed notation, scientific notation. I hope you remember. Right? Boolean literal, true and false only. Right? Character literal, any single character enclosed in single quote. Then we discussed about escape sequences. Okay? All escape sequences, I hope you understood. Purpose of escape sequence is also clear: to represent non-graphic character, treat meta character as literal character, and if you want to write hexadecimal codes, that is unicodes and octal codes, we use that backslash. Okay? And last is the string literal. All strings are enclosed in double quote, single line. They are objects of string class. Okay? And only single line. If you want to extend multi-line, older style was write separate strings and join with plus. Modern Java, that is Java 15, has introduced text blocks, three quote. Start with three quote, complete with three quote. In between, you can have any number of lines. Okay. So quick confirmation so that I can go with the next topic, that is data types. Data types also very, very important. We have to discuss about primitive data types first. Okay. Then their sizes, then their range, everything we will be discussing. Okay, so chalo, quick confirmation, guys.
Yes, sir, understood.
Others also keep interacting.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the concept called data types. Now what are data types? So data type indicates the type of value which will be stored in a variable. Okay, and variables are some name given to the memory location. Variables are placeholders in the memory. We will be talking in detail about variable, don't worry. Variables, variable declarations, types of variables. Okay. So in the memory, you have reserved some memory locations. Okay. And to that memory location, you have given some name. And the value in that memory location keep changing. Okay. So what type of value will be stored in this memory? Whether whole numbers are stored or floating point numbers or whether characters are stored, that is indicated with data type. So data type indicates the type of value which will be stored in a variable. Okay. They also indicate how much memory will be reserved for that variable. By data type, we come to know, like if it is int, then 4 bytes, if it is long, 8 byte, accordingly. Okay. So how much memory is to be reserved is decided by data type. Okay. And as much how much memory is to be reserved, with that only we come to know the legal range also. From the capacity only we come to know the range, like what will be the minimum value, what will be the maximum value. Okay, all that we come to know from that range, and range we come to know from the amount of memory reserved. Okay, so every data type will have the capacity, whether the capacity is 1 byte or 2 byte or 4 byte or 8 byte. Okay, so data types indicate how much memory is to be reserved. They indicate the range, that is the domain, and they also indicate what operations can be done on it. Because some data types are there which don't support some operations. Like if you go for Boolean, You cannot do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and all. Correct? So every data type also decides the legal operations. What legal operations can be done on it? That is also decided by data type. Okay. So very simple definition of data type. A data type in Java, not only in Java, actually in every programming language. As we are learning Java, I'm mentioning Java. So a data type in Java specifies what kind of value a variable can store. Means in that variable, can you store whole number or can you store floating point numbers or a Boolean value? What value, what type of value you can store in that variable is indicated by data type. How much memory is allocated, whether 1 byte, 2 byte, 4 byte, 8 byte, how much memory is reserved. And depending on the memory, the range is also decided. Remember, if the memory is 1 byte, then its range will be minus 128 to plus 127 accordingly. If it is 2 byte, getting so it will be minus 32,000, 32768 to 32767. If it is 4 byte, then it is approximate plus or minus 2 billions. If it is 8 byte, then it is approximate 9 plus or minus 9 quintillions. So how much memory will also decide the range. Okay. And the data type also decides what legal operations can be done on it. Because there are some data types which don't support some operations. Like as I said, if you go for Boolean, you cannot multiply two Boolean, you cannot divide two Booleans, you cannot add two Booleans. So such operations are not allowed on that data type. So data type also tells what operations can be performed. Agreed? Then all the data types are mainly categorized into two only. One is primitive and another is non-primitive. In every language, ideally, if you take C or you take Java or you take Python, actually in Python, they don't do it like that because Python internally converts everything into object. And that's the reason Python calls itself as a true OOP. Java still is not true OOP because in Java, primitives are still primitives. Getting? So either you call it as primitive, non-primitive. Primitive means only built-in data type. Means those which are already provided by the language designer. Means those who design the language, they have provided you with some set of data types which are originally provided in that language. They are primitive type. And non-primitive means user defined or library provided. Library provided is also what people like us only have developed it in the Sun microsystem and they have distributed to us. Therefore, still it is library is also coming under user defined. So primitives you can call as built-in user defined, or you can call it as single valued. All primitives are single valued. Here you can call it as multi-valued, single valued, multi-valued, or you can call it as elementary. Elementary means you cannot split it further. Atomic. So primitives can be called as elementary. Non-primitives can be called as groups. Okay. Or you can call it as scalar. Have you heard about word scalar? In physics, you might have heard about it. Scalar, or you can call it as vector. Non-primitives can be called as vectors like arrays. Okay. String, array, our classes, whatever classes we create. So whatever class, like class student, class employee, they all are non-primitive. Class string, which they only have provided, ready-made. But they all come, arrays also if you create, they all are non-primitive. And primitive, Java has provided only eight primitives are there. Okay. That is byte, short, int, long, 4, float and double, 2, that is 6, boolean, 7, and char, 8. Okay. And always remember, primitives are never objects. Okay, they are not objects. And non-primitives are always objects. Okay. And the basic difference between primitive and non-primitive is the value is directly stored in it. Means whenever you have a variable of which type, primitive category, then the value is directly stored in it. You understanding? See here. This is primitive. Integer age equal to 49. This is primitive, meaning in memory, a space is reserved for one integer, as much is needed for one integer. And to that memory locations only, a meaningful name age is given, and 49 is stored directly in it. Getting? But if it is a non-primitive, then it doesn't store directly value in it. It stores a reference. Now, according to C++C, you call it as an address, but Java doesn't use word address directly because we never get direct memory address. Actually, it is a entry in the hash table, and hash table contains the address. But okay, assume you can consider that it is an address. Okay, so non-primitives will always contain reference. They don't contain directly value. Getting like this. EMP E. So E is a variable of type employee, and employee is our created, user defined. Therefore, it comes under non-primitive. Correct? So E will not contain directly values of employee. It will only contain reference. An actual employee object will be created on a heap. Okay. Space will be allocated for employee number, employee name, employee salary, whatever. And the reference is stored here in E, where E will be on the stack and this object will be on the heap. And that you have to create using new. E equal to new employee. Then the space is allocated for that employee properties, employee number, employee name, employee salary. The space is allocated and then its reference will be stored in E. Getting? So that is the basic difference between a primitive and a non. Primitive directly holds value. Non-primitive are ref type, object type or ref type. So they only hold reference of your object. And you can see they have multiple values. No? They are not single value. ID, name, salary. So they have group of three values. Therefore, non-primitive is also called as group type or multi-value type or group type. Primitives are always called as elementary type. Why? Because only single value is holding. Okay. So you can call primitive non-primitive as built-in user defined. Okay. Or ref type. They are elementary type, group type, single valued, multi-valued. Get it? You can call them as scalar. Here you can call them as vector. Right? So difference, I hope you're understanding between a primitive and a non-primitive. So in non-primitive, who will come? Our created classes, class student, class employee. They are non-primitive type. They are abstract type. String library class, or when you create arrays in Java, arrays are also non-primitive because array are also group of values. No? They are not elementary type, means they are group of values. So as they are group of value, they come under non-primitive. Okay, and in primitive only 8 are there, which I told. But in Java, if you want to represent that 8 primitives as objects, then they have provided 8 wrapper classes. You can make use of those wrapper classes and treat them as non-primitive. Getting? Always remember non-primitive access is slower. Why? Because they have to access via reference. Means you don't have direct access. No? You are having reference and then use the reference and then go and access. So they are slower. Primitives are directly accessed. Therefore, they are faster. So primitives are faster in access Non-primitives are slower in access. Okay, we will do the differentiation between primitive and non-primitive because that is also a favorite topic. Java data types are mainly classified into two categories. I told primitive type, also called as built-in. You call it as built-in type because they come directly already provided by the language designer. You understand? When you buy a car, so whatever functionality in the production only they have given by the company. They have given a standard dashboard and the mirrors and all those things, wiper and all those things. They are built in. But if you want some more functionality, correct? You want a rear sensor and rear mirror also and a rear wiper and many more things. You want uh, more extra coating for sun rays and all, so that you add it later. But when the industry car come, whatever functionality they have already provided, they are built-in functionality. Understanding or no? When you buy a cell phone, already some things are there in it. Later, if you want, then you go to Play Store and you keep adding the apps. Correct? So already what is put in that cell phone that is built-in. So built-in or elementary you call or single valued or scalar, whatever name you want. And non-primitive, you call it as user-defined or a ref type or a group, multi-valued, vector type, so many names are there. Okay, I hope it is clear. First, we will talk about primitive type. Okay, primitives, just now I told, already provided by the language. Getting? They directly store the value. Means whatever memory is reserved, direct name is given to that memory location and the value is stored in it. So that memory will be accessed directly by that name. You understanding or no? You access it directly by the name. You don't have to access it via some key or something. You understanding? Like your neighbor says that in my house, in my fridge, something is kept. Please, you take it. So how you'll go in their house? First, you have to have the key of their house, so which they have already kept. So you will take the key of their house, then open their house, then go inside and then access the values. So you're accessing indirectly via reference. Get it? And suppose in your house, bowl of grapes and mangoes are kept. So directly they are kept in that bowl. No? So you can access that grapes and because you have the access to that bowl, to that container, right or no? So primitives means direct container in which the value is kept, and to that container a name is given, and you access that container directly by that name. Okay, so primitives are never objects, and that is the reason Java cannot be called as a true OOP. But if you want to represent this primitive as object, they have provided some wrapper classes. So we'll be talking about that too when a topic called auto boxing, auto inbox, outbox. We'll talk about that. I'll tell you. So primitive data types are built-in data types provided by Java. Built-in means they already given by the language designer. Okay? They store simple values directly. Simple means you're understanding. No? They are not composite values, single value. Like in case of employee, there is ID also, there is name also, there is salary also. All these values are collectively kept. They are group values, not like that. Simple values. Primitive data values are not objects. Getting? They are not objects. Getting? Because if they are object, they will have reference. According to Java, if it is an object, it is kept on a heap and you get reference of it, which you keep on a stack like that. Then Java has 8 primitive data types. Okay. And each primitive data type also has a corresponding wrapper class. Like for int, there is integer, for char, there is character, for float, there is float only F capital. So these all wrapper classes are provided by Sun Microsystem only. And remember, as these classes are provided by their class name will start with capital letter only. No class which is provided by Sun Microsystem start with lowercase. Impossible. They have kept that standardization. Getting? So each primitive type is having a corresponding wrapper class. And using that wrapper class, you can treat primitive as object. Getting? Like, suppose I am writing integer I, okay, equal to 10. This is primitive. So directly in memory, space is reserved for an integer, 4 byte, 10 is stored in it, and to this, a name I is given. But if you're using wrapper classes like this, integer, okay, j equal to new integer, and then to its constructor you're passing some value, getting like 20. Now, as I said, in modern Java there's a auto boxing concept, so you don't even have to write this new integer 20, directly assign 20. Internally this is going to happen now, but in this case, remember, this technique is not followed. Here what will happen is j will be not a direct name to that 20. Remember, J will just contain a reference on the stack part, and on the heap, it will create one object of integer class. This is a class provided. So you're creating a copy of that class using new. Using new, we create an instance. We create a copy. So copy of that class is created. So as much as space is needed for this integer class, that much space is reserved. Inside it must be having some private data member, okay, in which it is putting this 20. It is storing that 20 inside it. That data member is private inside that object. And then that object's reference is kept in J. There is a difference between I equal to 10 and integer J equal to. Now here, remember, J is an object because it contains a reference of that integer object, which is created on heap. And inside that object, what is encapsulated? That primitive 20. Primitive 20 is encapsulated within that object. That is the reason it's called wrap. Wrapping means you're understanding, no? The same thing, you're putting it in some box. You think like that someone has called you for birthday party, okay, and you're taking some gift. So you have bought a pen for them, okay. So you may take that pen directly and hand over to that friend, or you're taking a box, a nice box. Inside that you're keeping your pen. Then you're wrapping that box with a proper colorful paper. You're putting a tag, and then you're taking that. The same thing. That actual primitive, what you were having at 20, that is put into some private data of that object. The object is created. Inside that, that primitive is encapsulated. And then the reference of object comes here. So now this is a object. Get it? And remember, objects can invoke methods using dot. Here you can call j dot to string. Then it will convert that 20 to string and give you. This you cannot do on primitive. On primitive, I cannot write I dot. No methods are available for primitive. But for non-primitive, you always have methods. And you can invoke those method in context of the object using dot operator. The dot operator is to access those methods. Getting? So if you want to treat that primitives as object, then use the wrapper class. Name wrapper, I hope you're understanding, because it is wrapping your primitive inside an object. Getting? Okay. And non-primitive types, they are not built in. They are not ready coming in your language. Either they are provided by the library, but library is also created by third-party people like us. So either it is provided in the library or we have created. I created my own class student, class customer, class tag, class queue, class time, class date. Getting? So I am creating it. So therefore they are not built in, they are user defined. And non-primitives are called as ref type also because they don't hold value directly. They hold reference of your object. Correct? And every non-primitive is having access to the methods using dot operator. Using dot operator, you can access methods. Okay. So non-primitive data types also called as ref type. And why we call ref type? Because they hold reference. They don't hold directly value. Getting? And they are created by the programmer or provided by Java library. But anyway, we create or library provided. Still, they are user defined. They are not built in. Getting? They are not coming along with the language design. They are provided by the third party or we have created it. Getting? Okay. I hope you're understanding, guys. Okay. I am giving you the difference between both. The first one is a primitive type and the second one is a non-primitive type. Do you agree with me? Integer age equal to 10 and employee E equal to new employee. So second one is a non-primitive. First one is a primitive. Getting? So this is your stack memory and this is your heap memory. So if the first one you are doing integer age equal to 10, then directly on the stack, space for integer is reserved. As much space is needed for integer is reserved on the stack directly. Okay. And to that memory, name age is given and the value in that is 10. Getting? But in the second category, that is non-primitive, only E is created on the stack, getting E as a variable. And in this, reference is going to come, yet the reference has not come. Then when we wrote new employee, so as much space is needed for your employee object that is allocated on heap. So it may need space for employee ID, employee name, employee salary, employee designation, employee department, because it is a non-primitive. Non-primitive is not single valued. They are not elementary. Getting? They are group type. They are multi-valued. They are vectors. So they are group of values. So in that, there can be one as a employee ID, which is an integer, employee name as a string, then salary, then department. All this total, as much memory is needed, that much is allocated on the heap by new. Actually, new doesn't allocate. New just request to the VM. New does a request to the VM that please allocate space needed for employee. It will allocate. And then the reference is returned. That reference is stored in E. Getting? So that is the difference between a non-primitive and primitive. Okay. So can you give me clarification? Can you give me confirmation that is it clear to you between a non-primitive and a primitive? Okay. Primitive data types, non-primitive data type. Primitives means those which are already provided by the language. When they designed the language, that time only they have decided that these are our data types. Getting? And primitives always hold single value, elementary. Getting? They hold simple values, atomic values, scalar values. And whatever space is reserved for primitive, directly in the stack they get space and the name is given to that memory. And with that name, you access that memory. Getting? And in non-primitive, the reference is created. Then as much memory is needed for the object that is allocated on the heap. And the reference is stored in your non-primitive variable, which is a ref type variable. So why it becomes slower that you got it? Because it has to access this memory via this reference. First, it has to take that reference and then go to the reference and then access it. Correct? And here the direct access is there. Okay, I hope it is clear. So quickly we will do the differentiation between primitive and non-primitive for today's session. And then we have to discuss all the primitive types, their sizes, okay, their range, everything I'll tell you. Don't worry. Okay? So in case of primitive, you can call them as built-in. Non-primitive, you can call it as a ref type. Can you call them as user-defined or reference type? Yes.
Yes.
Then primitive stores directly value, stores actual value. Here they store reference. Getting in some books or even your AI tools and all say they store address, but if you read complete reference and all properly, they say that you should call reference only, not address, because it is not the actual memory address. As like in C, when we use pointers, so pointers contain direct memory address. Here it is actually the reference to a hash table, and then hash table contains the address. But ठीक है, we can assume that part is abstract for us, and we say we are getting reference. Okay, and primitives will always have fixed memory. Non-primitive size depends on what collection is there in it. Means it is a collection of what? Based on that, the size is decided, right or no? So their sizes can be changing. They can be dynamic. So memory size can vary. Here the memory size is fixed. Get it? Like you have created a user-defined type employee. So size will depend on what all things are there inside it. Employee ID, employee name, their department, their salary. So based on that, the size is fixed. Here, if it is int, size is always 4. Okay, faster access because direct, no? It is the direct name given to that memory. So faster access. This is slower. Why? Because you have to indirectly go through that reference. I told you, na, if you want to access something from the neighbor's house, first you have to take their key. Then using key, you have to open their house and then get the value. But in your house only, if there are bowl with grapes and mangoes kept, you can take the bowl and directly start eating it, no? Because you have direct access to that bowl. Okay. Then primitives cannot call methods. It is impossible. Methods can be called only via object, and primitives are not objects. Non-primitives are objects. So you cannot write int I and then I dot something. Not possible. But for non-primitive, sure you can call methods. Get it? By using a dot operator. Object dot method. Using dot operator, you can invoke them. Okay. And then examples are there like int, char, your string. String is a non-primitive type. String cannot be treated as primitive, remember. It is provided in your java.lang package. It's a user-defined class. Then if you create arrays, then array also come under non-primitive. Okay? ठीक है? I hope clear till here. Means if they ask you an interview, differentiate between primitive and non, you should have a clear understanding about it. Okay? Some scripting languages don't have. Like some scripting language treat everything automatically as object. Take JavaScript, Python. Their integer is also object only. Automatic, everything is internally converted into object. There, everything will have a reference. Here it's not. Okay, right? So can you give me quick confirmation? Then I'll just give you the classification of primitives, and then in the next session, each primitive we will discuss one by one with their sizes, range, everything. Okay. So I'll just give you the classification of primitive types first. See here. In Java, there are 8 primitive types. And for 8 primitive, there are 8 keywords. You cannot use these keywords in combination. Like in C, we can. In C, we can write short int or long int. Okay. And one more thing, remember, in Java, okay, few things are by default unsigned and few are by default signed. Means Java says character is by default unsigned, which is not the case in C and C++. C, C++, char can be signed and unsigned both. Okay, not here. Your characters are by default only unsigned, and these are by default all this also signed. Now you say, what does that mean? Signed and unsigned. Remember, whatever the capacity of that data type is, whatever the capacity is, like if it is a 2 byte, so its capacity will be starting from all 16 zeros. 2 bytes, no, guys? Character means 2 byte. So how many bits? 16 bits. One nibble, 4 bits. Okay. So all start from 000, all 16 zero. And they will reach finally all 16 1. And here it will become 1, then later it will become 10, then it will become 11, then it will become 100. Like this, you'll get 64,000 combinations, where the last combination is 1111. Okay, so whatever the capacity is, all are positive. Getting? Whereas if you say signed, then whatever the capacity is, in that half are positive and half are negative. Means if its capacity is 16, so obviously 8 will be negative and 8 will be positive. Total 16, but in that half positive, half negative, because they are signed. Getting? So remember that. So how the categorization is primitive. One is a separate data type called Boolean, keyword Boolean. Remember, all these 8 keywords can be used alone. They are not in combination. Alone, you have to use them. You cannot use them in combination. Okay, and there are no qualifiers like signed, unsigned, and all those. 8 primitive, 8 keyword used alone, single keyword. Okay, Boolean is kept separate. Then in numeric, whole number, floating point. In numeric only, we have categorized whole numbers and floating point. In floating point, we have two, float and double. Now you'll say in floating point only, why there are two categorization. Like Python has not done. Python says only float, nothing called as float and double. Here, float will have only 6-digit precision. And if you want still more precision, more accuracy, then go for double. Here there is approximate 15-digit precision. So capacity is also different. Here it is 8 byte. Here it is only 4 byte. So as the capacity change, the range also change. Okay. Then in integral only, this is by default unsigned and this is by default signed. Okay. So we have byte, short, int, long. This is 1 byte. This is 2 byte. This is 4 byte and this is 8 byte. And character. Now you say why character is in integral? Yes, because characters are also internally stored in the form of their Unicodes. On the screen, we are able to see A, but in your computer memory, you cannot store this graphical A. No? This is graphical representation. But how do you represent this graphical A in computer memory? Because in computer memory, everything is zeros and ones. So they have given some equivalent code for A, that is 65. And then can we convert 65 to binary form? Yes. Numbers only can be converted to binary. Such graphical symbols you cannot convert directly. So for these graphical symbols, there are equivalent codes, and then that codes are represented in binary form. Okay. So ultimately, character is also going to have its Unicode. And that Unicode is what? Integral category only. Getting? So here it takes 2 bytes. Okay, so the entire classification is clear. Then all these data types we will be learning in detail. Okay, in the next session, I'll be telling their sizes, ranges, all those things. Don't worry. Okay, so quick confirmation.
Understood, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure, no? Okay, so in the next session, in detail about them, in detail about their ranges, sizes, everything. Okay. how they store negatives, how they store positives, everything I'll tell you. Don't worry. Okay. And then after that, we will be discussing about variables, variable declaration, scope of the variable, what all different types of variables Java has provided. Okay. So all that one by one. Then after completing that, then we have to dive into operators. Then we have to complete all operators. Okay. So it's a gradually we will be moving ahead. So for today, we will stop over here.